Hello everyone, welcome back. My Glock 17 finally failed. Okay, it took about 75,000 rounds to kill it, but it finally shit the bed. I did a video on this gun this past summer. At that point, I had about 70,000 rounds on it, and I also did an accuracy test where I compared this gun, okay, at the 70,000 round mark to my Glock 19, which that had about 2,000 rounds on it, and there was a slight loss of accuracy. I mean, at the 30 yards that I was shooting at it, basically with the, I actually had it inside one of those, I think I call it a macaroni or macaroni, or basically it was inside a shoe, basically like a brace. So I was able to stabilize it on the table. And with the Glock 19 that had 2,000 rounds on it, I think I was shooting about like 4 and 5 inch groups. Whereas with the Glock 17 with the 70,000 rounds on it, I was shooting like 7-inch groups. So there was a, that's at 30 yards. So there was a slight loss in accuracy. So at 75,000 rounds, the failure point on this gun is the trigger reset. Slide catch works fine. Take the magazine out. Okay, and basically that's dead. The trigger will not reset. Now what I found is that if I point the gun down, now all of a sudden the trigger is resetting. So maybe somebody else can figure out exactly what's happened there. See, that trigger is now resetting in the down position, and it's doing it consistently. When I hold the gun horizontal, I have a dead trigger. All right, so that's pretty interesting. Of the 75,000 rounds I have shot on this gun, about 95% of it was steel case. Most of it Tula, and I think over the last year I've been shooting a lot of Winchester steel case. So the extractor didn't fail. The failure point was the trigger reset. Let's take this gun apart, take a look at it on the inside. Alright, so here's our recoil spring, and this looks as tight as, as far as I know, as far as I can tell, recoil spring looks good. All these parts are original. I've never changed anything on this gun. The way I bought it is the way it is. So recoil spring looks good to me. Barrel, as I look through it, I can see the rifling. I'll try and angle it so you guys can get a glimpse of that rifling. So the rifling looks decent to me. I can't tell. I'll roll the thing around so you can look at it. I see very little wear. Basically, it's not even wear, it's discoloration. I would call it discoloration on a few parts of the barrel where it makes contact, but nothing major. It certainly has not bit into the metal much. Everywhere I touch it, it's pretty smooth. So that's the barrel. Barrel looks good to me. I would probably keep using it. The slide, I can feel the spring in here. That spring feels fine to me. The firing pin block, I can feel the spring in there is fine. And when I pushed it, I can see the firing pin came out. I can see that firing pin has a decent point on it. And I see a little discoloration up here. But that's really all I see on this gun. I see discoloration. I don't see anything that has, basically bitten into the metal and worn it away. Looking at the frame, I'm going to guess that the problem is with this thing over here and someplace back there where it attaches. I'm working that for you guys so you can. I'm not a gunsmith or an armorer or a gun mechanic, so you know, I mean, I don't have much of an you know, basically I'm a firearms instructor, so I'm more, my interest is more in teaching people, not fixing guns. So I'm not, you know, although that's interesting. Like if you look at that piece there, it looks like it has, that might have a little bit of wear. That piece right there. But what I'm planning to do with this gun is I'm going to send this out to a, you know, to a certified Glock armorer, and you know, basically I'm going to basically tell him to look over the whole gun and decide what needs to be changed, you know, in order to make it reliable. I'm going to guess that even though there's probably only one part that needs to be changed or fixed, you know, they're probably going to find a lot of wear on a lot of other parts. And at this point, you know, I want a reliable gun, so I'm going to just tell them to change whatever they need to change. And at that point, this gun is no longer the same gun. You know, it'll be, you know, so you know, in that sense. So, like I said, if I hold the gun down, it seems to reset pretty fine. Okay, so it's resetting when it's pointed down. However, when I hold it horizontal, I have a dead trigger. So that's interesting. So that is the failure point of the Glock 17 with 70,000 rounds on it. I have no complaints. I mean, I'm very happy with this gun. I specifically used this gun because I knew that it would do a lot of miles, and I'm not in the business of fixing guns. I'm in the business of training people. So, you know, I don't want guns that, I don't want to use guns that I think are going to break. I want to use guns that I know can do a lot of miles. So that is why the Glock 17 is my go-to gun for training people. But yeah, post some comments. You know, if you guys think you know what's wrong with it, you know, by all means, post a comment. It'd be interesting to know, and I'll tell, you know, when I do hear back from the armorer, you know, I'll definitely make another video and let you know what parts he fixed. You know, but talk to you guys next time.